So wild. Okay, Rachel,
Please
are
go
you
ahead
ready?
Daisy, you want to do some first?
Yeah, I do. But I just want to make sure Rachel's ready for.
Okay.
I literally like none of you can see this, but I have a taped reminder for me of what I'm about to do.
Hell yeah. I appreciate it
I
so
put
much.
it
I
under my
appreciate it so
camera.
much, Days. You'll never forget again.
I hope not. Rachel, are you ready for your interview?
Yes, I
Okay,
am.
cool. So as you all know on this show, we see me, you see Dom, we see Domwig and Slimesy, and any combination of us a lot of the time. But what you don't know, or maybe you do know, but I'm just going to tell you again, is that there's a bunch of people behind the scenes at Folkwise who help us create the interview portion. We come up with questions together, we do the research on all our guests together, and those are our sleuths, our wonderful, intrepid, beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic, amazing, intelligent
You normally
sleuthers.
give them three. You normally give them three anecdotes or three adjectives. That's a lot.
Give them a lot. Give them a lot. They deserve it. I don't know. And yeah, so just if you hear a question that you like, if Rachel laughs and you think it's funny, if Rachel likes a question, whatever, don't thank just me and Dom, thank our sleuthing team who came up with all these questions that you're going to hear today in just a second. So, are you ready?
Yes,
Yes.
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So, our first question for you is how does women's spiritual identity relate and differ from their tangible role in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints?
Oh man.
This is the hardest
How
question
does
you'll
their
get. Don't
This is
worry.
the hardest question you're going to get.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess I'm like I'm sweating. What's their
This is a question that
Say it again.
yeah, so this is a question we thought about from some of your thesis research
Yeah,
on
yeah.
like the relationship between like a tangible role that you're given
Yeah.
in the church, like to do, I don't know, volunteer service of any kind, and how that kind of like relates and differs to how people have a personal spiritual identity or how they see themselves in a spiritual role, kind of as like a
Yeah.
Venn diagram, kind of different. So we were curious what your thoughts
Yeah.
about how those things relate to each other.
Yeah, no, oh, how they really yeah. I mean, I can start by just telling you that that's kind of what my dissertation is going to be about.
Cool.
So,
Let's get into it.
specifically, yeah, so specifically, for example, so it is a patriarchal church. Men and women can hold callings, the volunteer, that's what we call the volunteer positions. And everyone is given a calling, more or less. There are some situations, no, but everyone's supposed to be getting a calling. But of course, there are women leadership positions, and it's women leading over either the other women or the young women, like the teenage girls or the children. Uh, However, what I'm doing for my dissertation is there are some positions where it's kind of a couple duo, and for example, a mission president. So the mission, like the world is divided up into different missions, kind of how we talked about with my brother. He went to Argentina, the South. And each of those areas, there's a mission president, and that's a man because it has to be a priesthood holder. But their wife is obviously coming with them, right?
Right.
For like that calling is for 3 years. And so their wife is also actually kind of called to that, but she's just not called president per se. And so it's kind of a gray area. And so that's what my dissertation is going to be on, kind of these spaces where women have kind of unofficial roles. Or, for example, the leader of a congregation is called a bishop, and it's a man. But the bishop's wife, because the bishop is like a huge calling, it's like 30 hours a week probably. I mean, they keep their jobs, but
It's
kind of like
yeah,
it's a lot.
they're
And
there
so
all the time.
yeah, and so their wife obviously is doing stuff.
Yeah.
And they also have to be married, by the way. So that's why all these, like, there is a wife in these settings. And so there are other positions like that as well, where there's just the male leader, but you know that their wife is doing stuff. So my dissertation is kind of about, well, what are women doing when they don't have a official position, but are still doing things like, and they can, especially with mission presidents' wives, they can kind of do a lot of different things. It's more open, honestly. Ironically, it's kind of like, hey, you could do a lot of stuff. It's a weirdly like subversively powerful kind of position, that you could be creative with in your spirituality. So yeah, I think it's interesting to see where, and also, I mean, I think that back to the kind of the original question of like, a lot of times like motherhood is considered a very spiritual thing, and so that kind of is wrapped up in your identity, for better or for worse,
Yeah.
obviously. Um,
And it's
but
like,
yeah,
it's like so interesting to see like the social, spiritual, and also like task oriented role. Like all of those are intermixed, and it's interesting to see them inform each other in like, I don't know, really profound ways.
yeah. So
Well,
I think that like maybe officially, if you were to ask women, like, how do you, see your spiritual life versus your official church stuff? They'd be like, oh, it goes hand in hand, and I trust God. So when He gave me this calling, I felt like it was from God. Or so,
right.
yeah. I think that people rarely like women. I don't know. People, the institution and the spiritual, at least on the outside, they're supposed to go hand in hand.
Right.
Now, of course, whether that
Yeah.
actually always happens or you'll see some subversive things
Mhm.
happening
Yeah.
that I don't think most of the women think that way,
Right.
but
Yeah.
that stuff
Yeah.
does happen, where they're like,
Yeah.
I want to do my own thing.
Because a lot of like bureaucracy does not operate in that way too. So there's always like, yeah, that's so fascinating. So Bad It Hurts, one of our chatters asks if there are any roles or callings that are positions in the LDS community that are specifically reserved for unmarried adult members. Do you know if that's the case?
Yeah, so this one's interesting. I had so yeah, we call people ages 18 to 30 who are not married, we call them young single adults, YSA. And we have YSA congregations, and
Yeah.
we call congregation wards. So I was about to say ward, and then I was like,
Yeah.
no,
And you're like, well,
YSA congregations.
yeah.
And so interestingly, it's kind of like young single adults are almost corralled. I don't
Yeah.
think the point is for everyone to, oh, you have similar age group, similar purpose, and to get married, to find a partner.
Yeah.
Um, but so as far as older single people, uh, it's not as ideal, I would say. They're not, so there aren't usually specific callings, but they get callings. I mean, my parents are divorced, so they've both been single. My mom was had a calling as like the single coordinator, and she would help with activities just for single people in the, we call it a stake. It's a group of congregations. So
Yeah.
in our group of, I think of it like a school district.
It's like yeah. That's a good way to describe it, like a school district.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah.
different levels and like people are in different districts, but there's like a county-wide
Yeah, there's
district
the
bringing
school
everybody
district,
together.
so
Yeah.
that's in charge. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
so yeah,
That makes
so
sense.
that's
Yeah.
an answer is not
Mhm.
usually, unless it's for single, but they
Mhm.
can have any kind of calling. For
Yeah.
unless except for those male priesthood positions like bishop or mission president or stake president, or those kinds of
Yeah.
things have to be married, but most callings you don't have to be married.
Yeah. My next question for you is a little bit less intense. We're working backwards in your thinking, kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
Because, like, yeah, you were talking about a little bit about, like, your current dissertation research. This is, like, more specifically about your thesis research from your time at Utah State. And in your thesis, you describe personal experience narratives, which is, like, a kind of folklore narrative genre of women participating in religious missions. What is an LDS mission trip? Like, what does that look like? I know we talked about it a little bit for the people who didn't catch it before. And how do women specifically use these personal experience narratives about their calls to serve in their social lives? Like, how are they talking about how they get a calling to serve? Like, what role does that play in their communities?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So a mission it's like I said before, 2 years for men and a year and a half for women, and they changed the age. So it used to be 21 years old for women and 19 for men. And now it's 18 for men and 19 for women. That seems sort of negligible, except for it changed a lot for women. Because when it was 21, you're kind of in the middle of school if you're going to school. And I mean, and then back, people would be married. I mean, people still do get married, but it was even more common, in like the 90s and before to be married by 21. So there's even almost like a reputation of like, oh, old maids go on missions and that kind of thing. And now it's not the case. Now, as soon as they changed the age, there were all these women who were like, oh my gosh, like I've been dying to have this kind of equal opportunity. But yeah, so they go on these missions for a long time. It's very intense. You're working or you're doing your thing all day long, and you have free time on Mondays from like 10:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. to like talk to your family, and stuff like that. And they're just you're obviously trying to like teach the gospel of Jesus Christ or the church, and you're also trying to do service when you can. But anyways, so for men, it's considered a priesthood duty, and you're like supposed to go. If you don't go, you don't really get in trouble by any means, but it's just it's culturally you will feel bad. And it's just people will like pressure, they look, so when are you gonna, and it's, if you don't go, it's kind of like, well, do you even believe? Like, do you even want to be part of this church kind of thing? That's kind of the sentiment. Now, it has been more awareness for mental health stuff, where it's like, mental health is a thing, and not everyone can go on a mission because of mental health, which is good,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. You don't even, I don't know, like, you wouldn't be able to serve the purpose of, like, perfection.
Yeah. Well, my mission wrecked my mental health. So, and I think it does that for a lot of people, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't have problems before, you do now. So anyway, so women, but they have this, it's like, oh, no pressure, like, you can serve if you want to. And so you just have more of this choice. Again, it's kind of like what I was saying before, where it's this more free space where you can have more chance to be like spiritually creative almost with your life, and like, oh, what do I want to do? When do I want to go? What fits for my life? And so it's this chance for women to like search out spiritually and kind of have their own spiritual journey, just trying to figure out if they should. It's such a big deal to them. I mean, which makes sense, especially at that age where like you probably haven't gone a lot of places. Like right now, if I had to choose, it'd be like, oh, it's kind of just like choosing if I want to go on like a study abroad for a little long time. But like at that age, it's like almost like torture for them to try and figure it out. They're just like killing themselves or trying to find out this answer. And so it's a common narrative that you share, like that women will share on their missions and afterwards, but like, oh, how did you decide to serve? Whereas you don't usually ask that of men, because it's like, how do you decide? Well, like, I was supposed to. And they do have their own stories, like, for sure, but it's just not usually asked of them. And so and as far as its function in our culture, I mean, it's kind of women's first, like, independent, like, I'm a person and I made this spiritual decision. And you could do that when you're a teenager, but it's just not, it's not quite the same as when you're like, I'm going to possibly just leave for a year and a half, abandon society as I know it, So it's kind of a big deal there for women and their like spiritual identities.
I think that your comment about it being kind of like a creative expression of your spirituality, or like you get to have control over that kind of design or like plan, or I don't know if you have control of it or if you're like it's your creative relationship with God or whatever, but being able to have that like access to choice that you didn't have for a really long time, I don't know, that's like resonating with me for some reason. Pink Power Ranger Penguin says dating as a non-return mission man can be kind of rough also.
There's some kind of like maybe some prejudice. I think again, like Gen Z is just chill. I mean, even millennials were pretty cool, like we were cool too. But just Gen Z, I think, is more and more like whatever.
Everything's falling apart anyway. If you didn't make it, it's probably for a good reason.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't know. People are just way more open-minded now, but
Yeah.
in the 90s or whatever, it's like at the height of weird orthodoxy, and
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now that my cat's here next to me, I have to do something for Jess with Fangs, and then
That's
I'm gonna ask you the
hold on,
next
hold on, hold
question.
on, hold on. Daisy, you might be frozen.
Not to
No.
me.
Is Daisy
Not frozen to me.
okay. Is Daisy
Oh,
frozen to
I
anyone
am
in chat?
frozen on Twitch.
Yeah,
I am frozen on
that
Twitch,
is
but I'm not
weird.
frozen here.
Turn your camera on and off real quick. Turn it back on. Okay, you're back.
I'm back. Okay.
Yep.
All right, check this out. All right, Jess.
Oh,
my
no!
I can't do it.
No!
No! It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, I mean, it wouldn't have made any sense if no one could see me do it anyways.
It just would have been weird to listen to.
It would have been weird. I was going to rub my head on my cat who was right here with
An
me.
even
like,
weirder
really?
move.
Okay, well, if my cat comes back and she's like angry right now, she wants to eat her second dinner, but here's the real clincher today is that she accidentally got double breakfast. So I don't know if she
What?
should get second dinner.
What?
Yeah, she got double breakfast this morning and she's still hungry. So I don't know what that's about. But anyway, Rachel, I have another question for you.
Yes.
So there's a legacy in Utah of scholarship from some of the most prolific and vocal folklorists ever, like Barry Tolkien, Waylon Hand, Alta and Austin Fife, Lynn McNeil, Joe Rudy, Bert Wilson, Eric Eliason, Lisa Gabbert, Christine Blythe, Margaret Brady. There are so many people we could like continue on the list. But what do you think about Utah calls to folklorists? Like, it's
gosh,
a high concentration. I don't know. Do you have?
Yeah.
If you don't,
I mean, my
no
theory.
answer is perfectly fine. It's just interesting that there's so many in Utah.
Well, I just always assumed because I know that Austin and Alta Fife like did a lot of folklore for who knows. I mean, Mormons are very genealogy focused.
Yeah.
You know, so
Which
that's
is
something.
It's not unlike folklore, which is, you know, the things that like stay the same and are different over time, right? Conservatism and dynamism over time, like the things that are changing, the things that are different. It makes sense for a group of people interested in like genealogy to also be interested in folklore, but not all of those folklorists are LDS.
I know.
Like, what is the magical space of Utah that is just
don't know.
like?
Well, I assumed that it was because like the Fifes like came out of Utah State kind of, and they had this big archive, and then I just assumed that like that kind of grew the program at Utah State, and that just attracted more people, and then they just ended up having to stay.
But then like Barry Tolkien, like, well,
I don't.
And his work was with like the Navajo population, at least a lot of it, or the bulk of his like work over time, and that makes sense because there's a huge Navajo population in Utah or in part of Utah, so that kind of makes sense. But
yeah, so I don't know though, as far as just
interesting.
A few key players who were big in folklore then attracted more people, you know, as my thought, but I don't know.
Do you think that it has anything to do with like, I don't know, the spiritual like landscape of Utah? Whenever I'm in Utah, I don't know, maybe this is just me, I always feel like there is profound beauty. I don't know if that bleeds into like how people connect.
I wish.
Everyday life.
I don't know. I mean, I think that conversely, like, so Utah is super beautiful, just geographically speaking, and Mormons can be very loving, very community oriented. That said, you know, as a religious community, that creates a lot of problems. You know, like I think a lot of like Black people and people of color in general, like don't always feel welcome. You know, the state has a history of racism. The religion has a history of racism. Queer people definitely struggle, I think. A lot of people. So there's, to me, the sentiment that I've always known is like the got to get out of here. Like it's not for myself. Like I haven't, as far as like I haven't been interacting a ton with like a ton of people. So it's not like I'm like, oh, I hate this culture, but even so, the vibes just aren't it for me in Utah, and I don't even know what it
Yeah.
is.
I mean, maybe that's
So
because we're
for
from
me,
we're in
yeah, it's like
LA.
I
So
don't know, but the
different.
vibes just aren't quite it for me in Utah. Even though like it's great and like I would love to come back and visit here for sure. And my grandma and cousins are from here, so I've always used to visiting here no matter what. But I just think
Yeah.
the longer that I live here uninterrupted, I'm like, oh, this is not for me. And I don't know what it is, you know?
Yeah.
So hard to say if
Interesting.
it's there's an ethereal vibe going on that we don't know,
Yeah.
but
I think it's so interesting that I mean, maybe it is just the archive of Utah State University that was founded by the Fifes.
yeah.
Maybe it's that, and that because there's such like a huge archive that has led lots of
Yeah.
folklorists to be in the area,
Yeah.
or if it's like something greater about like the culture of Utah really broadly or what. But I find it so fascinating that like of all the states, Utah has a
Yeah.
really high concentration.
It's like overrepresented.
Like,
I know, like
lot.
Mormon folklore is overrepresented.
Like, well, yeah, and like that's interesting also. Like, why is
Yeah.
Mormon folklore like so well represented in in the field of folklore at large? Like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Can I read this from
Yeah.
chat? Can I read this one from chat?
Yeah, I was just seeing that.
Pink
Yeah,
Power
go ahead.
Ranger Penguin writes in chat, I think for Rachel, and everyone. Jared Farmer's On Zion's Mount is a super good study on how LDS people reshaped the landscape to fit their folklore. Are you familiar with that one?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to save that. Check it out.
I'll find it. Yeah.
See if you can post it. Yeah, because like being able to shape the land to fit the biblical narrative is interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
On Zion's Mount,
Okay.
Mormons, Indians, in the American landscape. I'm about to post it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Until the fairy tellers does it faster. Thank you, Katrina.
Okay, yeah, I'll
All right.
have to look into that.
Yeah.
I got another question for you, and then I got a couple funsy questions. Is that
Yeah, yeah.
okay? Rachel, you're one of my favorite Snapchatters.
Let's go.
I love your Snapchat stories. We both enjoy a good short video across many a platform. How did your student experience at Utah State University influence how you think about digital folklore?
Oh, my student. I mean, yeah, digital folklore is my jam. I love it. It's like, yeah, I'm hoping to teach a digital culture class
Hell
soon.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
I've been teaching intro to folklore, but I'm like,
Aw.
I've taught a lot of intro to folklore.
I did
So
that
maybe
for
we should branch out.
I did that for
Yeah.
like 4 years at IU, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm like hoping to teach digital culture, but I mean, I've always been aware. I feel like I have a good sense of the digital world, but not really, obviously. Like, I don't know Discord, I don't know Twitch, so I actually feel stupid for saying that now because I just realized I sounded like an idiot yesterday when you were trying to teach me how to do this, and I was like,
No.
Well,
no.
no one
look at
in
me?
chat was privy for that conversation until now, Rachel.
They
so
weren't,
thank
but
you.
now
No one knew until now.
I have to say it. I have to
Yeah, yeah.
confess my ignorancies. I guess I just know some things. But yeah, I love I think at this point too, I'm almost like in a post social media landscape where it's like with Facebook, it's like, what do I do? What's the point of this place?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, what do we do here?
I'm
Yeah.
about like, what's the point? People who are still like buying into it and like, oh, but at this point, I'm like, I'm just gonna do what I want on this media form.
Yeah.
And same thing with Instagram. And especially like my sister who has a jewelry business now, and she works on. She doesn't have a physical location. She does all online, and she's like, yeah,
Stay
like
tuned for the break so you know where to find Rachel's sister.
yeah, my
Yeah.
sister Mom
Stop.
Jewelry
Is
Co.
this the one who
But she's like,
majored
yeah.
in business and the other one majored in
Yeah.
folklore?
Yes.
Yeah.
Major in business, but
Yes.
Those are so
She,
different. Those are such different majors.
such
Wow.
different
I forget which one it says that, but one of the girls says that on the show.
But yeah, she's like, yeah, now that I do the business side of Instagram, I see that that's like all it is. It's just like a business forum, And she's like, I don't even go on my regular Instagram because it's so lame. It's just like I just see that it's for business, and then regular citizens buy into it, and like reshare stuff, and it's just like their venue for trying to sell stuff. So, but yeah, I don't know, and that's my Snapchat. I have different methodologies for all of the different ones.
Yeah.
Snapchat, I only have like not that many people who see, so I'm like, whatever. And TikTok is my
Awesome, yeah.
favorite medium. I'm
Oh my
obsessed with
God.
TikTok.
What's your favorite thing about
Go
TikTok?
off.
Just the humanity. It gives me life. Like my algorithm is good, obviously, so that's key. That's
Key
key.
is the
Well,
curation.
well,
Yeah, you gotta know
well.
what to like and what to not
We're not
like.
all so lucky.
Yeah, Tom's is old
Yeah.
ABBA.
But I just feel like when
And
I see, I
others
just
stuff.
connect with humanity, and I'm like, oh, I see this person and they're normal, and I have access to them, and they can tell me
Yeah.
advice, like,
Yeah.
you know, like, oh, like they're so funny. I just see the beauty of humanity whenever I go on TikTok. It's my passion.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I'm just,
love
I'd
that.
like to share my testimony about TikTok.
Oh my gosh.
It's my truth.
Okay, well, speaking of that, I have some funsy questions for you, but the first one relates to that. Are you ready?
Yeah.
If that Caitlin had when we came up with this question, Caitlin said it this way, and I said, okay, I'm saying it this way, and if Rachel doesn't get it, I have an explanation. But
Okay.
if this was the French Revolution, which social media platform would you say with its head? Like, which one would you destroy immediately if given the chance?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. There's too many. Like, oh,
That
what
was
would I
also
pick?
the problem of the committee of public safety. There were too many people who needed to have their heads cut off.
I mean, I don't know all of the like I know 4chan. I'm not familiar, but I probably that
Yeah,
one.
probably.
or
Yeah,
whatever.
no.
Like,
As someone who was
funny
very
answer,
familiar
yeah.
with 4chan as a younger man, yeah, right answer.
Or like something like that. But I mean, I just know the main ones. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, kind of. So I mean, I don't know. It's hard to. I mean,
LinkedIn.
Facebook.
The chat is saying LinkedIn.
Oh, LinkedIn.
Some Twitter is up there. Yeah, I think Twitter's
No. Give me my me my fucking bird app, okay?
I would
Excuse
say
me.
Twitter's okay. I'd say Twitter's okay. I'd say probably either Instagram or Facebook. Just it's just so
It's
annoying.
going
And
downhill. Well, they're owned by the same place now, so it's like it's kind of the same. For the
Mark Zuckerberg off with his head.
I love it.
You heard your first.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is another question that's so obviously from Death Florist, who's a huge Real Housewives fan. But do you or the broader LDS community have a hot take on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? Have you seen the show? Have you seen the drama on the internet?
I saw
about
one
the show?
episode. I saw one episode. It didn't sit right with me, so I didn't keep watching it.
That does not sit right.
It does not sit right. It does not sit
Like,
right. That is
nothing
an
to do with-
accurate assessment.
Not with like anything to do with Mormonism, but just like because I just the way that it is. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I want to be into it. Like I know some great people who are so funny and like they'll find funny stuff and I'll think it's funny about it, but just on its own, I was like, I can't do this. And the main lady who scams elderly people, like, I can't have that.
Yeah, I know.
I can't have that. Like, people will say, like, oh, haha, queen. Like, she's so, like, how people like to, love the villain. And I'm like, no, but she's actually a real villain.
She's
I can't
she's
with
like
that.
actually fucking over people. Yeah.
And I just can't. So...
That's a great.
That's my hot take on freaking Real Housewives. I can't with Jen Shaw. No,
Yeah,
we can't.
no.
She scams. It makes me incredibly sad.
Yeah, that is a great take.
I wish I had
take.
more of a take, but I just can't stomach the show very much.
Totally fair.
So
we on this show have heard about the Provo manta ray.
Oh,
I don't know.
I have not.
Okay,
No.
but you know the guy who knows about the Provo manta ray, who's Danny Stewart, who's written some like local Provo newspapers about. He's like the ghost tour guy in Provo, like the Provo ghost tour guy.
Okay,
He writes about a sky manta ray. So we've heard about this, and it's a thing that is in Provo. We are curious if you have any favorite legends about Provo, or like whether or not they're supernatural. Do you have any favorite Provo?
Oh, I was
supernatural or otherwise.
Oh, I was. My favorite thing that's going around right now that connects with so much of Mormon culture is, I don't know if you've heard about Mormon swingers.
What?
What?
I want
So this ties back in.
Wait, is this a legend?
Yeah, so it's like
It's
a
gotta
contemporary
be-
legend. So, but it's kind. It's
Okay,
also
let's
kind of
go.
real. I mean, there are really swingers. There are really Mormon swingers.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, obviously, they're not out and open. Like
Yeah,
that's
and
not
it's like
in
blown out
line
of
with your
proportion.
religion.
Yeah, the legend
But
is
like,
different than the reality. Yeah.
yeah, but there's
Yeah.
this TikTok, these moms of TikTok who are also peripherally Mormon, but they're very like they look like they just fitness and like crop tops and
Yeah.
like they're more, I don't know, mainstream Mormons wouldn't necessarily identify them as like really hardcore Mormon women,
Yeah.
but there's this whole scandal where one of them came out and was like, I'm getting divorced. Oh, and we did soft swinging with our friends, and everyone's like, what, soft swinging? And it was like, it was just kissing, nothing sexual, which goes back in line with Mormon culture, right? Like the Nickmo, like
I was gonna say
Nick
this is
out.
this is polyamory
like-
Nickmo. Oh my god, I love it.
And then, but like, and they're
This is
all like, it's just
fascinating.
all of this, yeah. So everyone's like, no, are there really Mormon swingers? And there's all these like, okay, well,
Yeah, there are.
in South Jordan, which I actually live in South Jordan right
Yeah.
now, in Utah, it's like, well, they have like a gnome out in front of their yard, which, I mean, gnomes are a popular yard decoration, but it makes sense in Utah that they're not as much of a popular yard decoration. And so it's like, if you have a gnome,
it's not.
so I'm dying to know. Like, I want to go find a gnome in the neighborhood and knock on the door.
It'd be like,
You
are you a
know,
swinger?
Like, hey, look,
It's hard to be
I heard
forward.
this thing.
I'm a folklorist. Are you a swinger?
Yeah, this is for science. Please tell me. But yeah.
Wow! Oh my gosh!
So yeah, there's all this going on, and then it's like, what? And just a lot with
Oh my
like
God, that's fascinating.
the way that like there's like this interesting overlapping culture of consumerism that would seem anti-Mormon, but then at the same time very much
Yeah.
fits in with the culture. And so
Totally.
just of like kind of women being really fake and having, I mean, I feel bad to say fake, but just like fake extensions. This culture of looks.
Well, does it remind you of LA at all? Because like that's what I felt like.
Really?
Fake
A
LA.
little bit.
I just lived I lived on the edge enough that I got different vibes. Not to say that, I just got different vibes, I think.
That's fair.
In LA. But not to say that there wasn't fakeness.
Thank you for that link, Death Lorist. Oh my god.
Somebody, Death Lorist posted a link to like some like pop news article about this mom talk swinger drama explained.
And so so just all of this kind of ties in, and like these with the influencer culture of Mormons who are it's just fair that there's very interesting.
There's a lot of like influencers and like family oriented influencers have always been big even before TikTok.
Yes, and a lot of them are Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, some of the. I remember a handful of like the family vloggers from like 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's still like a big cultural thing in Utah specifically. I don't think it has to do with Mormons.
Yeah,
maybe
and it's
some
not really,
Mormons outside of Utah, but
you point out a really interesting relationship between like the legend and like what's definitively happening, like the fact, right? Like like the gnome piece is very interesting, and the anxiety about like true love or whatever, or like eternal love,
eternal marriage.
Like eternal marriage, like being kind of like scam or a fraud or something because of all of the swingers that are happening. It's very fascinating.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
People in the chat are popping off about Bigfoot Kane.
Oh yeah, I guess isn't that like not? I feel like that's biblical. I don't feel like that's a ladder, like an LDS thing, but just like
some of our
okay, Catholic here. Kane, I know, Bigfoot, I know, but how do they go together?
It's kind of racist, but just that.
Well, then I can assume. Then I can assume.
Okay, makes sense
just
now.
That, like how Cain was like cursed, to walk the earth forever, and I think some people is like his darkened skin, like his skin was darkened. That's the curse.
That's in certain translations of Genesis,
certain thought, and so then just the idea that like Cain is Bigfoot is a thought. I mean, I didn't hear that one till like a couple years ago.
Well, maybe it's like a Utah thing, but I will say some of the LDS like chatters are saying it's an LDS thing.
Really? Yeah.
You were saying that the mark of Cain being like full body black hair. And that is when people have seen Bigfoot, they have been seeing
Yes.
Kane wandering North America.
Kane wandering North America.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm into it.
Well, I guess yeah. So and I mean there are some recordings and like there's a chapter of a book about a couple sightings. There was like a time period where people saw Bigfoot and some associated with Kane.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I have two other funsy questions for you, and then I have a game.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
So
I can't wait for the game.
It'll be real. I don't know. It's gonna pop off, I think. But so Rachel, you travel a lot within and outside of the U.S. What is your go-to folk remedy for airplane travel? Like, what's the thing you do that's like folklore on a plane to like make it not suck?
Folklore on a plane. I mean, these days, I don't know if you've been on an international plane or a long plane, but like they have the good movies. Like they have the new stuff that like just came out of theaters.
That's
So
good
like
to-
my brother and I, we just flew from like Ireland. He watched like 4 movies and like 2 TV shows. Like he watched classics. He watched like Get Out. He
Oh my
watched The Notebook. Like
Ooh.
an array,
What?
a
Aw.
scattering of like random but classics.
What a romantic
Wow.
guy.
Yeah.
I know that's not, but like they have the good stuff on planes these days, and I found out like from this, like I got my first migraine from like lack of sleep,
Oh boy.
and then really watching like screens, and I didn't even know it was like a headache because I was like I feel just like I want to die, and then
This is the worst headache I've ever
yeah,
experienced.
like
in my
I was
life.
just like I just feel like misery
God.
itself, and then I figured out like oh it's from like the lack of sleep on these planes, which combined with like watching every movie you could want to watch, you know.
You
So
you gonna read that one,
so
Daisy?
yeah,
I'm just laughing because So Bad It Hurts says in the chat, I bet he Colin didn't listen to any country music at all.
yeah, no,
Watch the last Notebook, but not the last song.
yeah.
Or watch the Notebook,
mean-
but not the last song.
The another hack is you can kind of ask for as many snacks as you want to, and you can also ask
That
for
is a hack!
ibuprofen.
I didn't know that.
You can
It's
ask
like,
for
oh, do you
ibuprofen.
want? Yeah, and they gave me their European one, which is really good.
Ooh.
And yeah, but yeah, you can like if they're like, okay, do you want like the cookies or the granola bar? And you're like, can I have both? And they're like, yes.
They just say yes.
Yeah, they're like,
Good to
okay,
know.
you know. So yeah.
That is a hack. I love that. All right, my last question is, do you have a favorite soda shop in Utah?
Oh, my favorite soda shop? Yeah, freak yeah, guess what it is? It's called Do It Yourself Utah State Campus.
What? Do it yourself, Utah State Camp. I just remember David used to work across from a Swig. We
Yeah,
were
no,
always
it's
like,
okay.
Swig.
I live right by a Swig now, and I couldn't even get into the parking lot to go to like the freaking
Yeah!
CVS.
Yes,
I was like,
it's like
because
a
there's a
line around
drive-thru.
the block.
Oh my
But
god.
yeah, I don't do it that much, but let me tell you. So part of these sodas,
We need to drop a link for this soda shop. Do it yourself,
Swig.
Utah State. Is that what it's called?
No. Oh, I made that up. So let me explain to you. So
Oh, I thought
So-
that was a real freaking
sorry.
yeah.
like me, I did it myself. I was a
You
genius,
are the
and
map. Well,
and
fucking
nobody else-
perfect, Rachel.
Well, fuck yeah.
nobody else would do this. So let me tell you. So Utah State, as you know, has coffee drinkers, which
Yes.
BYU doesn't have coffee
Yeah,
drinkers
BYU doesn't,
because
yes.
Mormons don't drink coffee, in theory.
Yeah.
And so they have the half and half that is part of these sodas that makes them so delicious.
Mhm.
Yes.
And they also have all of the pumps that makes the
Uh-huh.
coffee. And so I would be like, oh, could I just have like a pump of like some raspberry flavoring? And they'd be like, what? Like just the, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm just gonna put soda in it. Like it was just, they acted
Yeah,
weird
like,
about it.
of
But I
course,
was like,
yeah.
this is like a trend sweeping the
You're like,
state. I don't know why you guys are
you
acting
live in
weird about
Utah.
this.
Why is this weird?
Yeah. So then I would just like, and I'd pay like the 25 cents extra or whatever for the pump. And then I just add my soda and add the free half and half, which it costs money at these places to add the half
That's
and half.
true. That is a good hack. Yeah, just go
And
to
so
like,
I would just make my own, like, and once a week I'd treat myself on like our long classes that were from
oh
like
yeah.
5 to 8
Yeah,
or whatever
like,
they
so
were.
long,
During a break,
yeah.
I'd like run to
Yeah.
the cafe and be like, "Give me the raspberry, and I'm adding my half and half to my Dr. Pepper.
Hell yes.
And that's
Oh
my
my
favorite. Is like I was just doing myself. Or Maverick. Maverick is the Utah gas station that's like primo
Oh
gas
yeah,
station.
Maverick is
Very
Maverick
passionate
is like
about
the
Maverick.
It's like the Wawa.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like
So
it's like
very
the special.
passionate.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like the
Folks,
special
And
we
they
love
gas
a
have
station.
some
Wawa. Folks, we
flavors.
love
Yeah.
a Wawa.
They have some flavors for free, and they have the half and half. So really, gas stations are
It's
awesome.
good. Yeah, gas station is good.
So yeah.
Right, well, Rachel, you are gonna fucking
You're in
love
for
this.
a treat, Rachel.
Oh,
Okay.
it's a soda thing.
This is unlike anything we've done on the show before.
Yeah,
So
we're reinventing the wheel on this one.
I assume you've seen it. For folks in the chat, as we get this like flipped over here. Normally on our show, on a regular show, we either ask our guests to make a tier list or do like a this or that, like which is better, or to like make a playlist for us on Spotify if they're a music person. But this we have crafted. We've hacked the tier list
We've
maker.
hacked the tier list maker.
Now, what you can't see, Dom, you might have to scroll up just for a second to show the volume of images that we have on here.
Oh, like that?
We
Don't
have,
worry.
yeah,
We got anything you can
Design.
think of.
we have designed an ideal. We would like you, Rachel Ross, here with us
Rachel
today to make
Friend of the show.
friend of the show, special guest for today. We would like you to make the ultimate soda combination, the dirty soda combo for each of these base soda flavors.
Okay.
And we have, I know that they're kind of hard to see, but I can explain what all of them are. The
But-
little like white pitcher is half and half, or a creamer of some
Right here.
kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got
Added it to all of those.
yeah, good. Okay, good. See, we have a lot of images for that specifically.
We have a lot. Yeah, Daisy gave you as much as possible.
Yeah, we have a kind of image of berries that can represent basically all berries but strawberry. I have a special strawberry for it. So that's like if you want raspberry, blueberry, blackberry. I have butterscotch syrup. I have blue curacao, vanilla syrup, grenadine. Basically, I looked at a Swig menu and went, "What's good?" There's gummy sharks because that was on a Swig menu.
Oh,
yeah. So basically, this is not a tier list like ranking each of the sodas or the ingredients.
Yeah.
Or it's like a recipe maker for each of them.
I'm so excited.
if we were gonna
You're
start,
really gonna learn something now, chat.
so if we were gonna start, where do you want to start? Top or bottom?
Oh
You wanna
God,
start with
not
Coke
this
or ginger
again.
ale?
Hold on, my fire alarm.
Again, Dom, does your fire alarm go off every time we stream on Tuesdays, like for the last 3 weeks? What? Like, what? Oh my God, James, thank you. It's like they know you're streaming, and they're like, what would be really funny if we do the fire alarm drill once a week for the entire summer? Oh my God, yeah, everybody, it's so better. It says take a shot. Yeah, everybody, please take a swig of your dirty soda. Please, everybody. Oh my gosh, you back? Maybe not.
Now I'm back.
Okay, I was like, the people can hear us. So, Rachel, would you like to start with ginger ale or Coke? And we have Coke, Mountain Dew, Sprite, root beer, Dr. Pepper,
Start with
and
Coke?
ginger ale.
Okay. We'll start with the top.
So what goes in Coke?
All right.
What goes
What's
in your
the
ideal
best-
Coke?
What's the best for
This
Coke?
is so hard because I am like a one trick pony kind
So
of.
what's your one trick? What's your one trick?
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's just like my Dr. Pepper raspberry and half and half, and then coconut is really good as well.
Okay, yeah.
But coconut goes with everything. See, that's where I would also add coconut to everything.
We've got every.
Okay.
We got coconut. We've got enough
everything.
coconut and creamer. For
But
everything.
but I don't want to put it in everything because I'll just experiment. This is my chance to pretend like I'm gonna order this.
And then we can like screenshot it. You could take this
I
recipe
wish I was
card.
like I should be in my car in line right now.
Oh my God.
Like, okay, guys, let me try all these drinks.
At the famous
Oh
and
my
real soda shop, USU do it
Yeah.
yourself.
It's like literally
yes, you
behind
do.
this house. I could like if I hopped the fence, I'd be like get the swig.
Hell yeah. Okay,
But
so Dr. Pepper with
okay, that's my
raspberry, half and half, and
half
coconut.
and half a coconut. Coke is also kind of easy. Again, this is like being biased though with like just fruit flavors.
Go
It's all
off.
for it's totally for you. Yeah, this is like your specific
like could you
flavor
what are the
palette.
different?
So
My
we've
flavor
got we've also got like maraschino cherries. I have grape juice, a toasted marshmallow. Like
Ooh, I saw
that's
that,
meant to
yeah.
represent like the syrup, but
yeah.
there's
Let's add that to the root beer. Let's add it to the
Oh.
root beer.
that is a
Like
good
where
move.
you're
Yeah.
thinking.
That is a good move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then would butterscotch with that be way too much?
No,
or would
I think
that
that's
be
perfect.
like
I think
That'd
that's
probably be
great.
good.
yeah.
Probably good.
And I don't know. I feel like a fruit would be okay, but I don't know. I'm not feeling that
Yeah.
with the root beer. With the root beer.
That would not,
I think if I'm
yeah, I
tasting
think
this
that'd
in
be
my
good.
brain, the only fruit I could say is maraschino cherry.
Yeah, that's how I
Oh
feel.
yeah, I could
With
see
that.
that. Yeah.
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 But I like
But that's
root
good.
beer. Root beer with marshmallow and butterscotch sounds great.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds like it'd be really
I think
good.
I've tried it even. Something. That's my one time I did a root
Hell
beer
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Let's see.
We
Oh,
basically
peach
got
is a good flavor.
Well,
yeah,
we're-
we've got
I don't-
peaches. We've got kind of every fruit.
What do you think peach would go with? Because I'm not a big Mountain Dew drinker. I haven't really had a lot of Mountain Dew. Do you think peach would go with Mountain Dew, or is that disgusting?
No, I think absolutely.
I think
you can
that
do
would
peach
probably
Mountain Dew.
be
I think they have
We'll
a
do
peach
that would be
variant.
probably good.
Yeah.
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 Peach Mountain Dew. Yeah, that'd probably be pretty
Well,
good.
what else goes in with peach and Mountain Dew?
I don't know. That's where it gets tricky.
There were
'cause-
some
Yeah.
drinks I saw were doing the like blue curacao thing.
Yeah, that's Mountain Dew is popular to
Yeah.
go like crazy with like the different like people will do like lime or something. I'm not a big lime person though, but the
mhm.
blues. I mean, I'm trying to think if like the half and half would be good. I mean, again, my initial assumption that it would be good with everything, and I would do it myself, but I don't know if it actually would taste ideal.
Yeah.
What do you think about in Mountain Dew,
This
like
is
half
like-
and half?
This is like the most Libra vibe. I love it
I
so
say
much.
do it and let
You're like,
people in chat
yeah.
who are gonna do
Yeah.
this later figure out if peach and
Figure out if it's good or not. Yeah.
peach and half and half. Peaches and cream Mountain Dew actually
And-
sounds great. I'm
Yes.
not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Peaches
you
and cream
know?
Mountain Dew sounds great.
Honestly,
I bet they make that alternate flavor like in the winter or something.
Yeah. That sounds pretty
Yeah.
good.
Okay, so now now I'm just trying to match like different experiences with different drinks, right? Where again,
Cool.
if I
Yeah.
was like
Scroll
going
down a
hard,
little
I'd
bit.
with every single one of these drinks, I'd probably be like, okay, raspberry and half and half. But
So just scroll down to show us like the other side because there's also so there's more.
ketchup?
There's no.
No.
Oh god, that's the grenadine. That's like the red
Oh,
syrup,
yeah,
not like
yeah,
red
yeah.
syrup that some of them
Oh, is this
have.
one
And then-
butterscotch? Is this
vanilla.
butterscotch?
No, that's caramel. sauce.
Caramel, yeah.
I saw caramel, in
Which is
some.
like, what does that? Vanilla would
saw-
hit with a lot.
Yeah, vanilla syrup is also on there and like that.
Like I'm trying to think with Coke, if I want to give like one fruit to each
Yeah.
drink, what do I want?
Mhm.
Like, I mean, do I want to? Oh, what do I want to do?
I love how emergent this is. This is so good.
Like the berries, like the mixed berries. What do I want with the mixed berries?
Oh my
Like if I
gosh.
want to, like a mixed berry
right.
Mountain Dew, would a
That
mixed
could
berry
also
Mountain
be
Dew
good.
good?
That could also be good. Yeah.
And they also do this thing where they add real fruit, which
Yes.
for controversial facts are that I don't like real. Well, it's not that I don't like real fruit. I have a sensory aversion to.
That's
raw
fair.
fruit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it though? It is fair, but
I assumed some of this was like you could specify if it was the syrup or the puree because I know a lot of places do like the
the
fruit
puree.
puree.
Which I bet the
Yeah.
puree I can maybe even handle, and puree would be very good.
That's what I
So-
assumed. Yeah.
So, what kind of puree are we wanting? Puree and Sprite for sure, right? We
Yeah.
want the
Oh, yeah.
puree and
Yeah.
the Sprite. Like if we want it to be like strawberry, like like a strawberry.
Ooh,
that could be
like,
good.
with
Strawberry
vanilla.
Sprite.
With vanilla.
Oh,
that would be
vanilla.
good.
We're
because
letting
that would be, like,
we're letting the god work right now. Oh my god.
honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
And we want half and half in this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
like
we
strawberry
do.
and cream.
Yeah, we do.
Mhm. That sounds good. Yeah.
That's maybe sufficient for
Yeah.
the Sprite.
And then
Because
we
I
got
do want to go.
Yeah.
Should I just go to Swig after that? Well,
I mean, if you're feeling it,
I'll go to the drive-through.
Yeah.
My mask on.
yeah. I think
I'm
it could be.
still
Yeah.
COVID positive.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But just kidding. Let's see. Ginger
Ginger
ale.
ale.
You could get someone to DoorDash it to your house. You could get a DoorDash for Swig.
DoorDash Swig to come to me. Oh, pineapple. We are sleeping on pineapple.
We are
because I
sleeping
love
on pineapple, especially
That's
because
what-
ginger
yeah,
ale is coming
okay,
up.
People
Yeah.
are saying
Let's do
pineapple
this.
and watermelon too.
Pineapple. Oh, I don't like watermelon flavor.
Me
Okay,
neither.
Sorry.
Me
that's
neither.
totally
It's
fine.
out for me.
That's totally fine.
Let's do pineapple coconut because obviously,
Obviously, that would be good. Yeah,
that's
and a
great.
ginger ale.
And a ginger ale.
like I love.
You made
I love
like
a
a,
good
like a little pina colada soda. Yeah.
Yeah, big. I mean, so obviously half and half here.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we even want the puree. I mean, we don't want to like.
You said you're not a lime person.
No, I'm not.
Okay,
because
because I feel like this is begging for a lime.
Well, I mean, if you think it would add, you
No,
could
it's
do
your
it.
tier list. It's your tier
Yeah,
list.
it's your list. Yeah, let's your recipe game.
Yeah. Okay,
And then
and
the
then
All
Coke.
that's left is Coke. Go
the
off on Coke.
And I've realized I haven't used mango yet. I think mango is in this
Mango
list.
is-
Ooh.
Mango's
I mean,
good.
You
Coke
say
would
mango
taste
Coke?
probably. Yeah, we'll use mango just because we haven't used.
But what's your go-to
Any
for
other?
Coke?
Yeah.
Well, I like well, you mean like the kind they already make, or like because I
No.
always like the vanilla. You add vanilla. to
Vanilla
this one.
Coke. Yeah, that makes sense.
You add vanilla.
It-
Vanilla really never hurts with any of these. It's kind of just like a sweet.
Yeah,
Kind of like
totally.
when you add
like
vanilla to
it's
like
like a
a baked.
Yeah.
Are we doing vanilla
Wait.
and mango, or taking mango off?
Um,
You could do like I bet the peach mango would be good, or the mango pineapple coconut does. That might become too many.
Oh, wait,
flavors
no,
at
you saying
once,
down here?
but
You saying
honestly,
down here?
Yeah, that could probably be.
Rachel, if
good.
you sign
It
off
might-
on
Well,
that, that
they-
looks incredible.
I don't know.
it does look good, but I do like a pure pina colada. where
Yeah,
it's just
sure,
a pineapple
sure.
Right,
coconut,
that's true.
you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
sorry, you can get that
No.
when you come this week, but
I will. Perfect. Yeah.
I'm thinking,
This is
yeah,
good,
like
yeah.
the mango. But there's obviously add half and half, of course.
I love this.
Um,
Yeah. So we
Same.
need to.
The last half and half.
Uh,
Oh no, we didn't do a half and
No,
half
this
on the
one-
root beer,
this-
did we?
There's one more. Yeah.
Wait, do we
You
need a
could-
half and half on the root beer?
or ice cream?
don't-
I,
I-
didn't put ice cream, but
Ice cream, honestly.
I'm trying to think if we should add anything else to the Coke. I mean, we could always add a Coke. I'm trying to think.
well, we got the gummy sharks. We got grape juice. We got.
Who's getting the gummy sharks? That's what I want to know.
It was odd. Put one. It's
Almost like
put
a
one-
boba or something.
Yeah, like boba.
It was like. I think it was like put one or two. I would say put one or two on top of the pina colada, but it's just.
Oh
for
yeah,
me.
for like it could be like a vibe
aesthetic.
thing.
It is a
yeah,
vibe.
it's like a vibe.
This is a
yeah.
vibe. Look at that.
Aesthetic is the word, but
It's like it's like the
Going
same
off
thing with the
vibes.
maraschino cherry was kind
oh,
of.
let's add
their
a
thing,
cherry.
too.
We could add the maraschino cherry to like the Coke.
Yeah,
Oh,
I agree.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's
that
looking
makes
like
sense, yeah.
that's looking like something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Um,
All right, so
I
the
mean, I
Mountain
want.
Dew- I bet the Mountain Dew could have
One more
other
thing.
item,
Yeah.
Oh,
the
because it's just peach and
because
cream.
there's peach and cream, which is good. Peach and cream.
Yeah.
Well, or that could also probably be good with.
Can we add like a marshmallow or something? Like, I'm
yeah,
trying to-
marshmallow
not?
might be good. Yeah.
I'm trying to like. I need to drink
like
the Mountain Dew again
vanilla.
to like remember what a pure Mountain Dew.
They're
tastes
kind
like, you
of-
know.
They're kind
Limey.
of citrusy.
Yeah, citrus.
They're more like.
Oh,
No,
okay.
so I think
But-
you kind of nailed it, though. I think you kind of nailed
I think
it.
that
yeah,
would be
you
good,
think
though.
this looks good?
You made like a very
Oh
like like peaches cream and lime. I think like it's
This is so lit.
yeah, it's pretty lit. You made like a cheesecake.
this.
You
All
made a
right.
cheesecake. Yeah.
You made a cheesecake. All right. Rachel Soda Shop, folklorist on wheels, provides you regional foodways. Here is the recipe
I love
list
this.
of your dreams. For
Screenshot this. Clip this, chat. This is great.
Please, this is
Make-
it.
Are we making these at AFS?
Oh my god. So Rachel, we have to get you on board with this because we've been trying to like bring back the regional soda trade that like Maryland White and
the
like
AFS
other
Regional
people.
Soda Exchange.
Yeah, there was like a regional soda exchange where people would bring like a soda from wherever they were that was like a local soda, and then they would just, I don't know if they did like a tasting party or a trade or
fun.
what, but like wouldn't Utah's game be like off the charts?
It would be
You
nutty.
would
It would be
think, but
nutty.
I don't think they have a ton of package, like a
Oh, sure, because
prepackaged one.
it's fountain culture.
They
Yeah, I guess
do though they have like Brigham's Brew, and it's like a root beer.
Oh,
and
And
it's
that's
like
on
Brigham.
Brigham. And that's on
That'd be
Brigham.
fun. That's on Brigham.
That's
on
a pretty
Brigham.
good one to have, like a local.
Oh my gosh, that would be so fun. Rachel,
Yeah.
thank you for being a guest on our show,
Yes,
especially when you've been
thank
kind of
you.
under the weather. The whole time, nobody could tell. How fucking like, I don't know. You're awesome. You're always like a joy to have on the
Oh,
show.
thank you.
Thank you for repping LDS folklore and all kinds of cool stuff. This is
And-
the formal end of our interview. Maybe we should switch back to. Oh, you already did it.
Already did.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna take a break and we are gonna come back with more Provost
And
Most Eligible.
I think we should get some ladders in the chat for
I
Rachel
really think
Ross.
we gotta. Yeah, I think ladders in the chat.
Ladders in the chat
Gigi,
for Rachel. Ladders in the chat for Colin. I don't remember your sister's name. I'm sorry.
Ollie.
Holly. Ladders in the
Yes,
chat
Holly.
for Remy also.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
For the
Remy.
supernatural being known as Remy.
Rem.
I,
Oh my god.
Yeah, ladders in the chat for everything, folks. Ladders in the
Please.
chat for Mom Talk.
Fun. Yeah, very
Ladders in
fun.
the chat
Fingers.
for Nick Mo.
Ladders in the chat for Nick Mo. Oh my god. Yeah, we're gonna take about a 10-minute break and thanks again, Rachel. This is awesome. We will see you soon.
thank you.
We'll be back.
Bye.